Kolam of Patience, Chennai Mornings. The first hint of dawn painted the Chennai sky in shades of soft lavender and rose. In the quiet neighborhood of Mylapore, the air was filled with the gentle sounds of a city waking up, the distant chime of a temple bell, the rustle of leaves in the morning breeze, and the soft, rhythmic scrape of rice flour on stone. For 6-year-old Ananya, this was the most magical time of day. She would sit on the cool steps of her family's home, watching her Pati, grandmother, create the most intricate kolams, her hands moving with a grace that seemed to dance with the morning light. Pati's kolams were legendary in their little street. They were sprawling masterpieces of swirling vines, geometric peacocks, and blooming lotuses, each one a perfect offering to the new day. Ananya longed to create kolams just like her Pati's, to feel the smooth, cool rice flour slip through her fingers and leave behind a trail of beauty. This morning, Ananya was determined. "Today, I will make a kolam as beautiful as yours, Pati," she declared, her voice filled with a hopeful quiver. Pati smiled, her eyes twinkling. "Patience, my little Chitu," she said, her voice as soft as the jasmine flowers in her hair. "The kolam teaches us patience." But Ananya was too excited to be patient. She grabbed a small bowl of rice flour, her heart thumping with a mix of excitement and nervousness. She had a grand design in her mind, a magnificent peacock with a flowing tail that would rival even her Pati's creations. But as she tried to pour the flour, her eagerness got the better of her. Her hand trembled, and the fine white powder spilled in a clumsy heap on the ground. A cloud of white dust puffed up, making her sneeze. Just as a tear of frustration welled up in Ananya's eye, a flash of brown fur darted past. It was their neighbor's playful puppy, a little rascal named Chiku. With a happy yip, Chiku's wagging tail swished right through the middle of Ananya's spilled flour, leaving a messy white streak in its wake. The puppy, oblivious to the artistic disaster it had caused, bounded away, chasing a butterfly. Ananya stared at the smudged mess. Her grand peacock was ruined before it had even begun. The single tear escaped and rolled down her cheek, leaving a clean track on her dusty face. It was all too much. Pati, who had been watching from the doorway, came and sat beside Ananya, wrapping a comforting arm around her small shoulders. "Oh, my Chitu," she said softly, wiping away the tear with the edge of her soft cotton sari. "The kolam is not just about making a pretty picture. It is also a gift. See?" Pati pointed to a tiny black ant, diligently carrying away a single grain of the spilled rice flour. "For the little ones of the earth, our kolam is a feast. The birds, the ants, the insects, they all share in our morning offering." Ananya watched the ant, her lower lip still trembling. She had never thought of her kolam as food for the tiny creatures. "The kolam is also a meditation," Pati continued, her voice a soothing balm. "It teaches us to be calm and focused." She took Ananya's hand and showed her how to make a simple pattern of dots. "Now connect the dots," she instructed. "Slowly, gently. Breathe in, breathe out. Let your breath guide your hand." Ananya took a deep breath, just like Pati showed her. As she exhaled, she drew a curved line, connecting 2 dots. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. She connected another, and then another, and soon a small, simple flower began to emerge from the dots. A tiny smile touched her lips. As Ananya practiced her little flower, some of their neighbors, on their way to the temple, stopped to watch. Mrs. Rao, from the house opposite, smiled warmly. "A little cone made from a banana leaf will give you a finer line, Ananya," she suggested. Mr. Kumar, who lived next door, added, "And try the pinch and drop method, my dear. A tiny pinch of flour, dropped with a flick of your thumb and forefinger. It gives you more control." They all shared their little secrets, their voices a gentle chorus of encouragement. Ananya listened intently, her earlier frustration melting away in the warmth of their shared tradition. Just then, Mrs. Rao announced, "We're having a small, friendly Kolam contest this morning. Just for fun." Ananya's heart gave a little leap of excitement, which quickly turned into a nervous flutter. She looked across the street and saw her older cousin Priya, who was visiting from the city. Priya was already creating a breathtakingly intricate kolam, a symphony of geometric patterns and delicate details. It was a masterpiece. Ananya looked at her own small, wobbly flower. It seemed so insignificant, so childish in comparison. The familiar feeling of wanting to quit washed over her. Pati seemed to sense her granddaughter's turmoil. She knelt beside Ananya and said, "It is not about being the best, Chitu. It is about doing your best. Your kolam is your own special offering. It comes from your heart." Her words were like a gentle hug for Ananya's worried mind. Ananya took another deep breath. Pati was right. She decided to forget about Priya's magnificent creation and focus on her own small patch of the earth. She chose one simple motif, a single steady star, and decided to make it as neat and clean as she possibly could. With slow, deliberate movements, Ananya created her star. She remembered Pati's breathing exercise, Mrs. Rao's tip about the cone, and Mr. Kumar's pinch and drop method. As the sun finally peeked over the rooftops, casting a golden glow on the street, Ananya completed her kolam. It was simple, but it was hers, and it was finished. Just then she saw a much younger child from down the street, a little boy named Ravi, struggling with his own handful of flour, on the verge of tears. Ananya walked over to him. "Here," she said softly, "let me show you." And together they created a tiny, simple circle, a mini kolam for the littlest artist on the street. When it was time for the judging, which was really just a friendly stroll down the street to admire everyone's work, people stopped by Ananya's kolam. "Oh, look at the clean lines," Mrs. Rao exclaimed. "So simple and so beautiful." Mr. Kumar added, "And I saw you helping little Ravi. That is the true spirit of the kolam, Ananya. Kindness." Ananya's heart swelled with a quiet pride. Her kolam wasn't the biggest or the most elaborate, but it was filled with patience, practice, and a little bit of kindness. She decided then and there that she would practice her kolam every morning, not to be perfect, but for the simple joy of creating something beautiful and sharing it with the world, one tiny grain of rice flour at a time.